people get involved in your campaign. They say, you know what, I love this woman. I love what she's doing. She's fighting for us. This is John Villarreal reporting for Conservative New Media.
Paul, do you agree with that? And I know you've got a question for Noel before we got to switch out here.
I do agree with that. And Noel, hey, how you doing?
How are you, Paul?
Hey, good to see you. Good to talk to you. You know, you guys are talking about elitist and establishment Republicans, and it does go back to what you mentioned, John, which is Noel's excellent piece, David Brooks,
Great piece.
praises the Tea Party before he bashes it.
Newsbusters.org, check it out.
That's absolutely right. And what Brooks wrote about, he kind of, he's like, yeah, the Tea Party's doing great, they're getting some wins and everything. But in the latter part of the piece, you get the sense that the entrenched D.C., New York City insider of David Brooks is saying, hey, don't get too close to the gates, you little rubes down there. We're still the intellectual elite, even if we're in the conservative side, if we're Republicans. You guys aren't doing that well. Sarah Palin isn't that popular. And it's more about people being angry about the Democrats than it is about people embracing the Tea Party.
Well, Paul, there's another side of this. I think that there's something that an O'Donnell brings to the table, and a Joe Miller, and a lot of these folks that are winning, they create excitement nationally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When a Christine O'Donnell out of nowhere can take out a favorite like a Mike Castle, as Americans, we love the underdog. We root for the underdog. There was nothing more exciting that could possibly have happened all around the nation on Tuesday evening.
Oh, my gosh.
Than someone like, and what that does is, that helps everybody around the country get out the vote. This brings an excitement at the grassroots level of the Republican Party like I don't think the three of us have ever seen. So the more people like O'Donnell that can have these kind of upsets, the more that regular folks with conservative values and family values and whatnot get excited about the possibility that real conservatives are going to take over Congress. They're going to come out and vote like crazy. And take this a step further.
Yeah.
I think it acts to diminish the Democrat vote. When you've got all of this excitement now on the right side of the aisle, and the media, as we've got roughly 6 weeks to go. On Tuesday, it's only 6 weeks.
Can't wait.
The media are going to continue to get more and more despondent as the results become more and more apparent not in the rearview mirror but in front of them. And I think you're going to see a continued excitement level growing on the conservative side and diminishment of such on the Democrat side. We could be witnessing the biggest transfer of power in American history, and as long as you've got that chance, why not go for the big touchdown rather than the field goal?
I absolutely agree. And the thing is, the work's not done after 2010. It goes on to 2012, and it goes on at newsbusters.org, and it goes on at Conservative New Media, and it goes on at the New Media in this fight against the mainstream media that still is totally in the tank for the Democrats and totally in the tank for the Obama administration. But I think, for my take of what it is here, Noel and Paul, is it's like, look, you've got a lot of people on our side that are more interested in their own pockets, or more interested in being liked, or more interested in not the conservative movement, but their own personal power and their own personal jack. And we have to be honest about this. George Bush, I love George Bush, voted for him twice. I like a lot of what he did, but he made a lot of mistakes too. And our side has been guilty of spending almost as bad as the Democrats, and we have a lot of things that we have to own up for. And like Paul Ryan and some other people have said, that, you know what, it's time to say, look, here's where we did wrong, and we got to get back to our strong principles here. And people that don't want to do it, whether they're Mike Castles or Olympia Snows or whatever, they have to go. I don't care if they have an R next to their name. I don't care about chairmanships and stuff like that. I mean, in general, I follow the Limbaugh rule, the Buckley rule, this and that, whatever, which is, okay, you fight in the primary, then you vote for Republicans, on suck. But, I mean, we just have to really focus on what the big picture here is, and we have to get out this establishment class, and there is a big fight coming. This is not the first. It's not going to be the last. Let's flip it forward to 2012, and I've said it before. I'll say it again. Sarah Palin is running, and she is going to win the Republican nomination against Mitt Romney and everybody else. What's your take on that, Noel?
I very much agree, actually. I think that, it's interesting. I don't know whether it was the previous week, this past Sunday or the Sunday before, they were discussing Palin's possibilities on the Chris Matthews show, not on Hardball, on his syndicated program that shows on the weekend.
Right, the NBC.
And I think it was Nora O'Donnell who was saying, and she follows Palin around, and she was saying that the excitement and the crowds that Palin generates is like nobody else in politics today, of course, with the exception of Obama.
She's a rock star.
But it's like nothing I think we've seen on the Republican side of the aisle. I mean, I'm not sure if we can even equate it to. I'm not sure Reagan generated that type of excitement initially. I mean, certainly
no, not yet. No, not this stage.
But this early on, the excitement that she generates is infectious. Absolutely infectious. So no, I mean, who could beat her at this point? I mean, and what's interesting is even a Chris Matthews at this point talks about how she could win in Iowa. Potentially not do all that well in New Hampshire. New Hampshire would not be her strong suit, but she could go in and win in Iowa, and then win big in South Carolina, and suddenly she's a steamroller that nobody can touch.
Okay, I got.
And yes, gentlemen, I think that's what's going to happen. I really do.
I agree with you. I got less than a minute here. We're hard against this break, but I want to get some quick name association with you and just get your 1 or 2 word answers on this. Bill O'Reilly, what's your take on him?
Not as conservative as people think.
Charlie Crist.
Significantly more liberal than people think.
Sharon Angle.
Tough one. Don't really know what to think about Sharon.
Mitt Romney.
I think that he's a very, very bright guy, but I think that he's old GOP at this point. I mean, I'm probably taking too much time on this answer, but I think that one of the things that we're doing right now in 2010 is we're correcting the wrongs of 2006 and 2008, and the mistakes that we made in 2006 and 2008 is why we ended up being kicked out of the White House and kicked out of Congress. I'm not sure Mitt Romney right now is the answer for GOP problems.
I love it. No, you're the best. We're going to talk to you very soon. We're going to do a lot of things with you. Newsbusters.org. Noel Sheppard, the associate editor of Newsbusters. This guy is on fire. He knows what's going on. He's not afraid to tell it like it is, and we love him. Noel, thank you so much for spending some of your Saturday with our audience.
My pleasure. Thank you, John. Thank you, Paul.
Take care, Noel.
Absolutely. That's Noel Sheppard. Now, when we come back, we have got an insider who's also an outsider. We've got Dan Reel. This guy has got an awesome blog. He does a lot with campaigns. He's in D.C. He's going to tell us what's what. He has been really airing it out this week, and we're going to get into it. We're going to get into what this insider from the Obama administration has been saying, the actual quotes, the whole 9 yards, because Paul has been doing the deep, deep research on this. We're going to break some news and take your calls when we come back. I am John D. Villarreal, and you're listening to the John D. Villarreal Show on the conservative New Media Radio Network.